evening. You're listening to Adrenaline Radio. I'm your host for Adrenaline Motorsports. My name is Fred Blanchard, and thank you for listening. We have two in-studio guests tonight that are from the car show field. Basically, they are a couple of guests one was a contender for a Riddler Award in the Detroit Autorama, and his name is Brian Basic, and the owner of Roseville Rod and Custom is Benjamin York. Brian, we're going to get back to you and talk to you a little bit more about your project car. And one of the other things I want to talk to you about, you came all the way out here from Brunswick, Ohio, and I was going to ask you, you're here and you got to be here for a reason, so I was going to ask you about that. But let's talk a little bit about your project still. You were mentioning that obviously it's still in the works, and why don't you give us a heads up as to what you've done to the car, and as far as the suspension, and I know that you've had some features on that car that nobody else has. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, after I became friends with Fred, I decided to come out here to see the Grand National Roadster Show, and what my intentions are is when I get the car done, I'm going to take it up to the Riddler at the Detroit Autorama and show it there, and then I'm retired now, which is kind of nice, and I plan on touring the country. I want to bring it out here to the LA, to the Grand National Roadster Show. I want to go up to Sacramento, up to the Northwest, and head back and try to get in a Blackie Gajian's show in Kansas City and Kentucky, and literally tour the country with the car.
Well, that sounds like a pretty ambitious, and I'm sure you can do it. And I'm going to tell you, from the work I've seen that you've basically done and had done on your car and a new project, and from what I've seen photos of, I'm sure you're going to be able to do that. It's very, very impressive. Ben, again, you're in town, and again, give us an idea of, I know you came to town from Roseville, and I'm sure that's the same reason that Brian has, that he's come to see the show. Anything there in particular that you're looking for?
Right off the bat, the AMBR contenders. You can't be in this industry and not know what's going on, and this show is one of the premier shows on the West Coast. You got to come and talk to the guys you know and see everybody. You got to see what's new, what the latest cars are, so you can try and stay on top of the trends.
Well, I'll tell you, that's from my experience of this Grand National Roadster Show, it's a premier show, and every time that I've been able to display the company products that we have in a booth of one or a car builder or another, I've never seen the amount of people that come through this show. And I know that on Saturday, the Grand National Show people open the doors to those who have custom cars but are not entered as in any competition, but they're allowed to bring their cars in and display them on outside of all the buildings. And so in reality, you have two shows in one. You have an indoor show, and it's showing the capabilities of custom car builders, and then you have a segment that displays rat rods, as we know them. Back in the day when I was driving a hot rod, that's what I drove, I guess, was a rat rod. Couldn't afford a paint job. But today's cars are very well built, and they have quite a few exotic parts and things that are hard to find or not found, and yet these cars are all drivers, and that's the thing that's real important as well. And there's also a segment there that they're going to display is Bonneville cars. I've seen that there's going to be some cars there that are involved in land speed racing, which is a sport really near and dear to my heart.